Surprise is 7 weeks old today and he weighs 539 grams. He has become very playful. He will play with anything. He will play with a ball. He will play with string. He will play with a discarded plastic bag. And although he has become this playful, I'm being very careful not to play with him using my hands because he does bite and claw when he plays, and I don't want him to get used to biting and clawing at people's hands. So I make sure not to use my hands when I play with him. But yeah, he plays a lot these days, and I think it's just because he's so young and he has a lot of energy to expend. Speaking of which, he now has a lot more strength and energy to jump up on things. I've been talking to you about how he's learned how to jump off high heights, but now he jumps up onto things. Because what used to happen before was when he's becoming a little too much, I put him on the floor and then get into bed and like let him do whatever he does on the floor. But now he jumps up onto the bed. I mean, he doesn't make the jump every time, but he does more times than he doesn't. So now I can't get away from him if I want to. He's also developing rapidly. At this stage, his eyes and ears are fully developed pretty much. The best visual representation of this are his eyes. They have started to change from that brilliant blue that they used to be, and they're now changing into his adult eye color. So they're now this kind of yellow greenish hue, and it's so sad to watch. I mean, it's a good thing that he's growing up, but it just signals that he's no longer that baby that needed me and his mother for everything. He's pretty much good on his own. His baby teeth have fully descended, so he's eating a lot more, and I don't have to mush up his wet food like I did last week. Now I just give it to him in the chunks it comes in and he eats it just fine. He is still too young to be weaned from his mother, so he's still breastfeeding. Speaking of his mother, Surprise is really close to Bronwyn. Like when she's around, he really doesn't care about me or his father Winifred. And I have been worried about that because it seemed like he was bonding more with his mother than with his father. But all that changed this week because he started bonding with his father, and they've done that over food. Because when I feed his mother and his father, he runs straight to his father's bowl and eats straight from his father's bowl. And if you know Winifred, you know Winifred does not like to share food, but Winifred lets him, so they've bonded over food. But since he's not old enough to eat adult cat food, I don't let him stay there for long. I just let him nibble a bit and then I take him away. But yeah, they've been bonding over food. His hunting skills are also developing. He's taken to stalking his shadow, which I think is so funny. But yeah, he stalks his shadow, he goes under the bed and lays in wait there and waits for me to walk by, and then his little paws like swipe from underneath the bed. He's not the most graceful when he does this, but he does try. And he also, you know, when I'm walking around the room, he runs after my legs in a hunting kind of way. I don't know how to explain it other than to show it. So this is what he does sometimes when I walk around the room. So yeah, he's becoming an experienced hunter. And about the litter box, he's better than he was last week, but he still has a lot to learn. So we're still keeping an eye on that. So I'm trying to coach him along, you know, to use the litter box properly. So yeah, by next week, I think he'll have mastered that. Also, he's old enough to start getting his vaccines, but I'm going to wait a couple weeks before I take him to get his vaccines because I don't think there's any need for us to rush. So we're just going to wait to get that done. So yeah, that's all about Surprise's 7th week of life.
Audio Jungle.